This is Sid and Friends in the Morning.
Entertaining and informative.
Oh, you're my best friend.
77 WABC.
Great Jackson Brown, Somebody's Baby. They used this song in one of the great teenage angst movies of all time, Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Ron Johnson, one of my favorite politicians, great senator from the state of Wisconsin, is back with me again this morning. And Ron, look, we all came to Milwaukee, your city, your state. I was there. I actually arrived the Saturday that Trump got shot. But, you know, the whole party started on Monday. But you were the first person to come out. And we were all on our way to your state, and talk about all the issues. You know, even today, cremating the body, which you've talked about, which didn't make any sense. Just this morning, even CNN is reporting that the local radios weren't working. And there was a heads up 3 minutes before this guy got off 8 shots. So here we are a while later, right? The RNC's over, the DNC's over. There's still a lot of questions, Ron Johnson. What are you thinking?
Good morning, Sid. Well, there's a lot to unpack there. When it comes to the investigation in terms of the assassination attempt, what we know about it is largely coming from local law enforcement who are used to being transparent. They're used to be held accountable. You know, if something happens to their cities, they hold press conferences immediately. They tell the public what they know, recognizing that the public is intelligent enough to realize that it may not be the complete story. Things may change as they get more evidence. But if you want to design an investigation to create suspicion, to drive conspiracy theories, you couldn't do a better job than what the FBI, the Secret Service, and the Department of Justice is doing right now.
True.
They're being completely opaque. I mean, it's jaw-dropping, quite honestly, that they released the body to be cremated before anybody saw any autopsy report, any toxicology report. So, you know, we just don't know anything about this. I mean, what we do know is, you know, again, been largely hidden by the Secret Service. For example, you know, we knew, Washington Post reported this pretty early on, that one of the local law enforcement officers took the first shot at Crooks. And yet Acting Director Rowe comes out, does a press conference, doesn't even acknowledge that shot. You know, we don't know whether she hit the body, hit Crooks or not, because we don't have the autopsy report. So, again, it's maddening. I fear, but I'm quite certain that our investigation in Congress is going to largely be an investigation of the federal government, their agency's investigation. It's sad. I mean, it shouldn't be this way. They should be transparent. The American public needs to know the truth on this, and they're just not getting the truth.
Well, let me ask you this, and we'll wrap this up, because you've been on this show with me a bunch talking about this. I see you with Maria on Sundays. You're terrific there, too. You're very good on TV, Ron. Very good. And, you know, I don't know if you're trying to tell me and my audience that you really believe in your heart of hearts there's a major cover-up here, and somebody in one of those groups wanted President Trump dead. Are you not? What exactly are you implying?
I'm really not implying anything. I'm just telling you the facts. I don't know what happened on July 13th. You know, we hear reports. If the feds, and you know, the Wednesday after the assassination attempt, we had a briefing by FBI Director Wray and then Director Cheadle. And one of their primary points to senators was, we can't allow conspiracy theories to run wild. Well, you're doing everything possible to drive conspiracy theories. You know, we'd heard reports that the sniper had, you know, this guy in his sights, asked for permission to take him out, was denied permission. They denied that, but we haven't been able to interview that sniper to ask him the question directly. Now we hear that apparently Crooks had encrypted accounts in different countries. I don't know if this is true. I have no idea. And that's the only thing I'm saying is, we don't. I mean, the federal government is not being transparent. They're not telling us what they know. And because they're not, I certainly get suspicious, and I certainly understand why the American public is pretty suspicious as well. I mean, let's face it, the federal government has been lying to us for decades. We've witnessed it during COVID. We certainly saw it, the corrupt investigation of the Russian collusion hoax. So time and time again, by the way, I've been the target of some of their disinformation campaigns as well. So, I don't trust them, and they're giving us no reason to trust them in this investigation at all.
No, you're right. I can't argue. This is the great senator of the state of Wisconsin, my friend Ron Johnson. So let's go back to the DNC. So Biden speaks Monday, the ultimate slap in the face. They all hate him. That's the bottom line, okay? So he can't wait to get out of there. So he speaks Monday, and he leaves right after he lands in California, literally Monday night into Tuesday morning. So the next night, Ron, is the Obamas, Barack and Michelle. And Harris, who had that choreographed lying phone call from them a couple of weeks ago. They're all giggling and all happy. What does she do? She leaves. She leaves because, according to the insiders, she was upset with the way the Obamas treated Biden. And where does she go? Your state. Ends up in Wisconsin again on Tuesday night because that state seems to be up for grabs. What is the latest with your state in this Trump-Harris fight?
Well, first of all, it's going to be a close election. They always are statewide. I think the Democrats' strategy here in this election is quite clear. Talk about a group of people you can't trust is Democrats. I mean, that entire convention is nothing but a bunch of lies, gaslighting, and relying on the mainstream media to lie and gaslight with them, to cover up for them, to not hold them accountable, provide no scrutiny in terms of who Kamala Harris is, what her past is. What her past policies have been, what she's proposed, like defunding police. I was asked on one show, describe the failure of Kamala Harris's border czar, and I said, well, she didn't fail. She succeeded. She got exactly what Democrats wanted, an open border. They wanted to flood millions of people to come to this country to vote for them. That's what mail-in balloting is all about. That's why they want to relax all the controls, why they resist something like the SAVE Act to make sure that people are citizens of the U.S. before they can register to vote. So, again, the Democrats it's nothing but lies. And I think what's most galling is now the theme, and she unveiled this in Milwaukee, fight for freedom. I mean, that was my theme back in 2010 running.
Wow.
But they don't have a clue about what true individual liberty and freedom means in this country. They want freedom to be able to kill a baby right before it's born. They want freedom to not have to worry about, being responsible for yourself, that just have the government and other taxpayers take care of you. That's the freedom they're talking about. It's not the kind of freedom that made this country great.
So, be honest here, Ron. Did you watch any of this, a lot of this? Because none of it?
No. I couldn't bring myself to it. I've watched clips. For your show, Sid, I mean, I'll blame you. I actually watched clips. I pulled up her speech, and I kind of skimmed through it.
Right.
It was galling. I mean, it's galling. By the way, one falsehood I have to dispel, too, is the fact that Donald Trump called us all up and said, you got to vote down that immigration bill because I want that issues the election. First of all, I don't know anybody that Donald Trump called to dissuade them from voting for that bill. That bill killed itself. It was awful. Okay, it was an awful bill. It codified so much of the open border policy. It actually weakened presidential authority on the border. It was an awful bill. It deserved to die. The Border Patrol endorsed because they'd take any port in a storm. They just experienced 10,000 people a day in December, 14,000 in one day. On average, Biden has let in 7,000 people a day since he took over president. 7,000 people a day, illegal immigration. Remember, Obama said it was 2,000 was humanitarian crisis. His DHS secretary said 1,000 a day was a bad day for Border Patrol. 7,000 a day. So, no, that was an awful bill, and it's just galling to have Democrats say that Donald Trump tanked that bill. The bill tanked itself. Is an awful bill. Agreed.
So on the way out, they keep calling this is the great Senator Ron Johnson from Wisconsin, truly a great American voice, and I mean that. On the way out, they keep describing last night as an historic night. And it was, Ron. You know why it was historic? Not because some ditzy black female now has the opportunity to run for president. It's because She has that opportunity without garnering one vote. Not one. That does make it historic when you agree that Joe Biden got 14 million votes. She didn't get one vote, and she's the presidential choice. That does make it historic.
And, of course, this is the party that is going to preserve our democracy, right? The danger to the democracy. No, it's just a sad and tragic joke. You know, what the Democrat Party is able to do in terms of pulling the wool over the American people's eyes. I mean, that's their campaign strategy. What can we do to keep the American people from understanding the truth about who Kamala Harris is, who Tim Walz is, what their past positions are, what they would do to further destroy this country? And that's the last thing the media will ever let out. So I've been since last summer saying I doubted that Biden was going to be president, and then going on to predict that anybody that they slot in there was going to be put on a pedestal by the media, proclaimed the next Messiah. And even though I've been predicting it, my jaw has dropped.
Yep.
To the extent, the brazenness with which the media is doing it. And they'll continue to do it.
Well said.
They're not going to hold her accountable. They're not going to ask her tough questions.
Oh.
They're not going to demand that she holds press conferences.
No. The only tough questions hopefully will come from our friend President Trump on September the 10th when he destroys her in that debate. Final 30 seconds, Ron. What do you do as a great senator to try to ensure that Donald Trump wins your state?
Trying to work hard. It's all called ground game, grassroots effort, making sure that our county chairs are energized, that they've got community captains, that we're getting out the vote. We're pushing early voting. Get your vote in now so that on election day, our calls to low propensity voters are more effective. We're not wasting money calling up people that are going to vote regardless. So it's just all that ground game. And then telling the truth. You know, if truth will be told, if the media will let it out, truth should prevail in this case by a long shot.
Do people have to worry about cheating in Wisconsin? Because I still get a bunch of Trump supporters in my gym, Ron, every day. Hey, Sid, is he going to win? I think he's going to win, but I don't know. Well, they're going to cheat. No matter what, they're going to cheat. So can you...
My concern is all the illegals, and we have instances of them registering to vote, don't even realize they've been registered to vote. So, I mean, that's the game plan of the Democrats. It is hard to treat on a massive scale. Close elections, it could be determinative. But one thing in Wisconsin we've done is we've got over 5,000 poll workers. These are paid positions. They're trained. Plus, we have probably every poll observer slot filled as well. So we have eyes on the process. It worked in 2022. My close election, Milwaukee had their vote results in by 11 o'clock at night. So I could rest easy that they weren't trying to find votes in Milwaukee County. So that made a pretty big difference. We still have that in place and then some. So, but again, I can't account for illegals registering to vote and voting illegally.
Right.
I don't know the extent that's going to occur throughout the country.
That's a fair fear, though. That's a fair anxiety.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, listen, you're always great, Ron. Really, I love when you come on the show. I think you're a great American, a great senator. Thank you so much for hopping on today. Have yourself a great weekend.
Take care.
Take care, Ron. Ron Johnson right there, the senator from the state of Wisconsin.